Maybe I can say one thing like, yes, some jobs will be replaced, as you mentioned earlier as well, all of us.
What's your company doing, yeah?
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to use it, they can come to you. We
Yes.
give you a lot of data, a lot of pictures, videos, and so on. And then you have a clone of your father, for example.
Exactly.
The only problem is this phone when you call, even if there is a person over there.
Let's start with you, Abdullah. What are, according to you, the biggest industry trends when it comes to AI in the moment? We all know about ChatGPT and all these things, but what do you think in the moment are the biggest trends that are coming out, and how are they changing our world or our industry?
I think currently there is a buzzword of AI. So everyone is like, we want AI. So in there, they just don't know what exactly they want to go into AI. They just clients come to us and we want to introduce AI to our company. So they do not have any exact idea of what to do. So what we tell them is first to come up with an idea. The most industry that we face with is retail and marketing. They just wanna create marketing strategies. They want AI to enhance their sales, and they want AI to create an environment for them, or just be their marketing manager, bring them more leads, bring them more clients. So that's one industry. And other industry is, I think, biomedical industry, where AI is playing a bigger part. And we have heard about the generative AI, the image classification, where we have seen it before, where we can see the classifications that are being done and detecting the diseases. But there is another part of it, the genetic algorithms. Now what genetic algorithms does is it's basically before genetic algorithms, how we used to deal with viruses, or the solutions was, we took the viruses, we want to create a vaccine, we create lots of variations for them, we grew them manually, and then we tested them out, then we crossbreed them or mutate those viruses, and that was a manual process. We needed proper time for that virus to expand on itself. But with genetic algorithms, we can reduce those time. We can take those viruses, we can create their DNA profile or their protein structure, we can feed it to the AI, and what AI will do, it will just speed up that process. What was before gonna take months, now it's gonna depend on computational power. As much as computational power you have, if you have a lot of computational power, you can create new variations of that virus within a day. So I think these are some of the industry trends that are going on.
Okay, thank you. Ali, what kind of problems or challenges, let's say, of nowadays world, which were always thought impossible to be solved, are now probably possible to be solved thanks to AI? Or maybe they are already, or you think that they can be possible very soon. Can you give one or two examples that are coming to your mind?
I'll say one other thing as well, that with every technology there is a hype cycle.
Yeah.
So there is a crest of inflated expectations, and then there is a trough of delusionment. So what happened was that AI was there from quite some time, solving problems as well. The biggest challenge was around the data. Whoever was having the best amount of data, because try to understand it as like a car which has three components. If you have a very good car structure, so that is the model that is available with everybody in the world. The next thing is the fuel. The fuel is the data. You do not have the fuel, your AI doesn't work. And the third thing is the engine, which is the GPUs. So now the problem is GPUs are so expensive that anybody cannot have a very good model according to it. So this is a triangular problem that everybody has in order to have good AI. Whoever could solve those three things, model was available with everyone. You get the best data, you get the computation power. Yes, you have a very good performing model available with you, right? So this is how the evolution of AI has happened. But with ChatGPT, suddenly AI came into the hand of everybody. When people started to use, I can generate content, I can summarize content, I can find out answers to my questions, So that is where the thing started to go in a direction where end users could start to feel that particular AI, right? So now there is a kind of a crest of inflated expectations from this particular AI. Now again, we cannot ignore that along with this particular technology, there are many challenges that are to come along with it as well. One of the thing that Angelica, right, she highlighted around the security aspect of it. Imagine a thing that this generative AI is good at generating code. So on a constructive side, 2 to 3 years down the road, what is going to happen? You ask software developers to create the software, right? A good ERP system or a good website or a good any other kind of a system, or for example, a mobile application. Now, what would be the new language? English or any other regional language? You just do the right prompt engineering, then the application is ready, right? So that would be in the hand of the masses. But another problem that could occur is that a simple 6 to 7 years old who is kind of not in a right set of mind, he might be or she might be doing the prompt that give me some malicious code, and that is going to get executed. And how this become worse is that as part of the statistics, every organization has some open source code base as part of their total structure of programs. They have used certain open source library. 96% of every organization that is running across the globe uses some open source code, and this goes to a LLM model, and people can generate any kind of vulnerabilities. And imagine the cyber security aspect of it. That is going to be a big challenge, because how much money are you going to push into the cyber security? Because because previously there were very experienced hackers who could do the things. Now the technology would be in the hand of 5 to 10 years old who could actually create any sort of destructions. In the past, there was a log4j vulnerability in an open source code base that was being utilized across everybody in the world, and it created havoc across. So imagine this kind of problems that are going to arise. Now take another examples. We all open this particular account and they say, okay, for the customer KYC purpose, you could just do your facial verification, or for example, a video liveness check. Generative AI, it could generate the videos of you, and based on that, it could pass all those particular checks. It's very, very dangerous that is going to happen. And similarly, if somebody is calling you, they can clone the voices using the AI. So a lot of technology that we currently have, that we think and we trust with the way the generative AI is going to actually change the landscape. So there is a constructive element to it, but what people are not seeing, that whatever technology that right now you have, everything you need to change across. And technologies like, for example, blockchain have to play the role, because you cannot trust anything. You cannot trust if somebody is calling you, is that particular correct person. You cannot trust any information that is generated. Like there is a news channel with a perfectly looking anchor and a video generated. You cannot trust that particular content. So a lot of other questions arises in terms of as a challenge in terms of, so I am not talking about the constructive aspect. What I am seeing is that there is another thing and people are not working on that area. So that concerns me basically.
Yeah, I agree. Himanshu, how do you see the future of AI? If you look for the next 3, 5, 10 years, and which industries you think will benefit the most of this development, which has already started and which is still to come?
Sure. So first of all, I'll come to the future of, let's say, foundation models, let's say LLMs, for example. So you would have recently seen the release of O1. So why that's very unique in itself? Because it follows a framework called agentic frameworks, which is quite popular these days. So because we, in research, we use things like autogen, which is like several LLMs talking to each other and then coming to a decision. One of our panel speakers said that you can't trust the output from an LLM because it can hallucinate. But what if we make 4 or 5 LLMs sit on a table, discuss with each other logically, and they are assigned a particular role? So let's say one of the LLMs is a lawyer or a model trained on legal aspects. One of them is a model trained on management aspects. And then they talk to each other and then they come to a conclusion. It generally is better. So if you see the O1 model from OpenAI, it is far better when it comes to solving complex problems because it has this chain of thought procedure. So coming to the future of LLMs, they will move into a direction where they'll make more sense, rather than hallucinating, and those systems will be even more complex. Now coming to the industry use cases, so I have very interesting examples. Even from personal life, because we have been using AI and providing consulting to different companies. One very interesting use case is music. AI generated music. You can do it right now. In 15 minutes, you can generate tracks of proper hip hop music, and it will seem like really real. And you can even clone your voice, put your voice into that. It will have, wow, you are a singer, right?
Finally, I can be a singer.
Yeah. So these kind of mind-boggling things are happening. Another example I'll give you. So there are a lot of legacy softwares which corporates use for HR systems, for ERP systems, all these. Now with AI, a lot of these can be actually replaced within 1 or 2 years. I know companies which are big HR tech companies or recruitment companies. They are setting up their AI R&D base because they understand that a lot of things, like for example, ATS system does keyword matching, right? That's a quite mundane way of looking at CVs or profiles. We can put LLMs which are expert at understanding people, let them talk to each other like the hiring manager and the recruiter does, and then let them come to a conclusion, having a look at the overall profile, maybe a GitHub profile, maybe his research papers, taking all these aspects into account, then coming to a conclusion. So a lot of legacy software systems we'll see getting replaced from these kind of Gen AI systems. My company, for example, we already have started automation of a lot of aspects of our business, and also many government entities in Abu Dhabi are doing that. So I think that's where we are moving. We'll see use cases in multiple industries. One of our panel members was talking about genomics. So we actually did consulting with one of the genomics companies, and they actually developed an antibiotic from AI, and it actually was in news. So we are living in a world where we are already seeing results, and this is going to even get better. But yeah, we need to be very careful because this can become very dangerous if it's not taken proper care of.
Let's talk about the workforce or the people working in the company, because I think we always say that AI is not replacing humans, but on the other hand, we hear that all the data processing, all the operational work will somehow be taken over by AI. So there will be definitely jobs which are replaced by AI. So what does this mean for the workforce? And if you are a young professional now and you are orientating what you want to do in the future, what do you think are the most, or what are jobs which are really needed in the future, qualifications needed in the future in the era of AI? So what do you think is important, or what you should learn for the coming future? Anyone who wants?
Okay, I'll say one thing over here. That see, when we talk about AI, it takes the data that is available, and based on that model could predict or do a specific number of things. Like for example, if we talk about LLM model, it's not intelligent at all, because what it does is it spits out one next token, predicted token at a time. So that's why it generates things in a stream. So you ask it a question based on whatever data, very large language data it has seen across. There are like a model available. So based on that, after multiple iterations, it is going to spit out one word. After that, it is going to spit out another word. So the problem is that whatever data it has seen, Based on that, it could give the output. Creativity is something which the humans have. Unless and until there is no new data that is generated, there are no new consultants coming up with newer concept. There are new explorations, new concepts coming out from the human mind that AI has to always catch up. So the idea is, rather than doing manual kind of jobs, which could be replaced by the AI, put yourself in something which is of a creative nature. So then you are always above the game, basically. You cannot be replaced then.
Yeah, in our company, actually, we introduced this concept of employee repurposing, you know, which is you repurpose employees, you know, to more productive things, right? Rather than doing something which can be replaced by AI. So as a human, we have to think like whatever work I'm doing right now, is it replaceable? That's why I think one more thing is very important in current era is AI literacy. I call it AI literacy, which is all of us should understand, even if we are technical, non-technical, doesn't matter. We just need to understand what AI can do and how it can replace my work or augment whatever I'm doing. This is something which all of us need to be aware of in the current times.
And as we speak about the jobs, what job is going to be more important? I think it would, rather than AI engineers, we need more data scientists. We need more people who know how to build data, because as she talked about, garbage in, garbage out. So if the data going in is garbage, we are definitely going to receive garbage out. So we need more data scientists, more jobs that focus on the cleaning of data, the annotations of data, how we are going to construct those data pipelines, how we are going to reinforce data back into the models, what data we need to throw out, what kind of more data we need, how we need to handle the imbalance of data, and how do we need to deal with biasness. So those data jobs basically are going to be really important in the upcoming years.
Okay. And I like to add one thing over here is that that the way the AI is evolving, so we should from a fourth industrial revolution perspective, there are many technologies that we need to see that they are going along the way as well. They are maturing as well. From the IoT, if it goes across, a lot of census data is available, so a lot of data is available. From Web3, decentralized, a lot of data is available. So everything is getting digitized. Every movement is getting digitized. Every device is getting digitized. So data, there is a lot of data. And then there is AI, which is good at generating code. So that AI could also be a data scientist to actually learn from that particular data as well. So ultimately what I think is that those data scientist jobs, they would be in a little bit of danger in the future as well.
Actually, there is a company in the US, I just forgot the name. So they provide these AI employees. It's a startup. It's got a good amount of VC funding. So they basically provide you tailored employees for your need. Those are basically AI, but that can be trained on your specific job if you provide them, the specific data and requirements. So we are already moving in that direction, companies.
And exactly, there is one another concept that we are working with the companies as well, that in organization there are multiple departments. There would be a IT department, there would be HR department, there would be a compliance department. So at the first level, would be a Oracle twin of that particular department itself, because what it needs to learn about all the knowledge base of that particular department. Let's say, for example, HR, normally people approach HR about the very same questions. It is not different, right? So you take that particular knowledge base, teach that to that particular HR bot. Secondly, what HR do? HR actually screen those particular resumes. There is ATS available, but it is keyword matching. But imagine, even with the large language models that are available, it knows about all the job descriptions available, right? So let's say, for example, if somebody is a construction engineer, somebody is a software developer, he would write things in their resume, right? So what happens is you screen across based on your job description that he is fit for the job, and whatever he's claiming in the CV, create on the fly questionnaire and send him tell us if whatever you are saying, it's very personalized, right? For a human it would be very difficult to actually manage that, but for this large language model it is very, very much easy. It will take the CV, generate some 10 questions and just screen him, he is right or he is wrong. So a lot of those particular oracles could be created for the compliance, for the legal. Like I am launching an RFP, I pass or to this compliance board, it will tell me these things are missing across, and this is going to happen because these are human assisting bots, so that will be going to change the things. Secondly, one other area that would be disrupted across is see, you guys, like we use many organization services, right? So what we do is that we go on their website. Like for example, a bank is there, so I will go to the mobile banking or the internet banking. Everything is happening fine. But the day if anything goes wrong, I'll be struggling. They'll tell us to call a call center number. We'll call them, they will take us into a maze of IVR options in which we would be getting drowned, waste our time, and finally an agent would be available, and that particular agent will listen to us. We don't know where he is, what are their emotions, but as the knowledge base of the organizations, the problems, the systems are integrated with this particular one bot, that is much better option than an IVR, because it might have a face, it might understand emotions, it can talk to us, it could actually keep us in a conversation. The same way when we talk to agent, we are a little bit more relaxed, right? But this IVR kind of a technology, but it still is there. But what we see is in the next 2 to 3 years, as the LLMs are getting better, things would be resolved. What's stopping is not the technology, the cost of the technology. Because if you use OpenAI services, they charge you a lot. And if somebody is going to call again and again, then that company would be bankrupt because OpenAI will make a very big bill. If you train your own personalized model, then the GPU power that you require, it's so costly. A100s are very, very costly, right? You cannot build them and scale them. So that's why cost is the only problem. But with time, more competition will come, so cost is going to get diluted. So from the technology side, that is covered basically. Only thing is the cost will go down and there would be a very, very huge adoption that's going to happen in all these customer facing technologies. So yeah.
Okay,
Any questions? Sorry.
To add on to that, as he talked about organization trends and the cost. When cost is not going to be an issue of major trend in AI, that's gonna be is clones. We always thought cloning, human cloning would be done by the biomedical field, but actually it's gonna be done by AI, I think. And not just think, there are many companies that are creating human clones right now. And to be honest, I also have a personal small clone of myself that I keep for myself. Usually I use it in meetings with my clients. I really have a small attention span, and usually I don't know when talking with clients what questions to ask. So I just keep my clone there, and he's there with me through the meetings, he's listening to it, he's generating more questions. And after the meeting, I can actually discuss with him, hey, what did the client actually talk about? And how did the meeting went? And okay, how can we solve this problem? Now, initially, it's not that intelligent, but as long as I can feed it more data, it will become accustomed to me, accustomed to the tone I use, the kind of words I use, the kind of language I use, the kind of emotions I have while I'm talking to the client, and it will become accustomed to that. And initially, and actually, one of the projects that our company is working on right now is cloning human beings that have been deceased or that have passed away. You want to talk to your loved one. You have some memories of them, you have some great pictures of them, you have videos of them, you know how they were, you have access to their chats, emails, etc. As many data as you have, give us to us, and we will create a clone of them. Actually, and
This is your company doing, yeah?
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to use it, they can come to you. We give you a lot of data, a lot of pictures, videos, and so on. and then you have a clone of your father, for example.
Exactly. Now, about 10 to 12 years ago, there was this Netflix series, it's called Black Mirror. It had an episode where a person dies and then basically they create a clone of that person. I was watching that at that time and I was like, yeah, right, that's ever gonna happen. And now, fast forward 12, 13 years, I'm the exact person who's building that. So, these are some things that kind of scare you. They can have a lot of misusage. So as we talked, Mr. Ali talked about the ethical uses of these, we need to keep a lot of check and bound on these. But cloning is going to be one of the major trends of AI in the upcoming years.
And one thing, sorry, I would like to add over here is that again, if we see from a convergence of a technology perspective, you have a lot of data because technologies like IoT or blockchain will generate a lot of data. Then you have this AI, which is like advancing at its own pace, whereby such experiences as clones could be created. But there is another technology which is the immersive technology or the metaverses, which is also there. So imagine that particular same thing, I wear a VR gear, and then there is some person who is not a 2D, it's a 3D person which is there. So the way in which we will embark, it would be totally new kind of experience because those particular metaverses would also be AI generated. Maybe this room is generated like this, I am sitting over here, in the next few years I'll be wearing a VR gear and we are doing somewhere on the top of Mount Everest, this same kind of session, right? So that would be possible, like if the technology keeps paces and all these technology evolve, they are evolving, but somehow they will converge as well. So a lot of possibilities
And
are
quantum
there actually.
computers are coming.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they are game
So we
changer.
never know, the computational capacity is gonna explode.
Yeah, and quantum
Okay, so
computing.
this sounds really amazing. But we have a few questions. Maybe if you first.
All right. Thanks a lot for sharing all this. Some of it is a bit scary. Some I don't want to try. Let the people who are there to enjoy their time. What I really like as a takeaway point from what you're saying is a need that we need to embrace, or maybe I need to embrace more with my team or myself or maybe with my family, which is knowing ourselves better. I like a lot the part when you mentioned that you acknowledge and you have the awareness that you have a short span of attention. So you acknowledge that you know your strength and you know the blind spots that we call it. And you found a solution for this. Like you used AI to support you to be a better version of yourself, to be more productive, to add more value. And this is something that I really like because corporates now, they don't hire people because of the technical skills. We hire the personality, the person who is adaptable, the person who has openness to learn and unlearn. So this is an important takeaway point, and I really thank you for raising it, because we need to be better version of ourselves. All what we are saying about AI will come. I recall a friend who told me, don't worry about it, it will come when we are not here. So for now, don't bother. Which is, by the way, it relaxed me in a way, because at some points you panic, then okay, I'll not be here to witness this bad part of it. So it is important that we also get skills to know ourselves better, to see how we can use AI to make us better people. Thanks a lot for sharing.
I have two quick questions. First of all, is there any institution worldwide who are controlling the protocols or the regulations by AI? So are there rules? They're setting rules by any international institution?
Yeah, I think she
Yes,
can
yes,
answer that.
you mentioned that.
The EU regulations.
Yeah, the answer is sitting next to you.
Yeah, at the moment, the most popular one and the most strict one also is the EU AI regulation. Read it, and you would wish for less regulation. It's terrible. They just, because of fear, they overrule. and it's just the wrong way. And
But this
this
will
nice
limit-
guy Mario Draghi had
Yeah.
a lovely say on it.
Yeah.
Which said, well,
Yeah, companies are leaving Europe and
Yeah.
because of that.
It puts a lot of onus on not only the companies that are producing AI solutions, but also even those that are using it. And that is just a killer for the whole business.
But this, when you put restrictions, this will also limit your imagination.
Yeah, innovation. Yeah.
And you have to follow these protocols. So
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I like to say one thing that, see, whenever regulations are created, try to understand their mindset. Their mindset is safety for everyone,
Yeah.
right? So laws are created that not one innocent person is executed, right? On theory, this is what regulation is about. And if we see the AI state of things, it is like nobody can tell. Like if large language model is there, nobody can claim that it is going to give or perform in every situation correctly because nobody knows, right? Even if there are many LLMs, still there would be a chance of error. What would be that chance of error? You cannot even estimate. So regulations would always be scary because they have to actually take care. Because anything goes wrong, then nobody will believe in that particular country that these like they don't know how to regulate. A very typical case is of this autonomous car, right? So if there is an autonomous car, which is a self-driving car, let's say there is something wrong with the AI because it internally uses those AI models and it hits someone. Who is responsible? The software provider company is responsible, the car is responsible, whoever manufactured the car, or the person who was sitting inside because he did not did any manual override. Who would be responsible? Like from a regulatory perspective, tell me what you will do if such a case arises. So in this case, maturity will come, but after like embracing a number of cases, the few years down the road.
AI ISO standards, maybe.
There already is one.
I don't know.
But it's again not
Yeah.
the best of all ISO standards that are
So innovation and regulation, they would always
Yeah.
be like
They will tug of war.
yeah, tug of
between the
war
two.
will always remain.
And
They will
it
keep-
possibly, like typical in these cases, the pendulum will go first more regulation, then possibly
Yeah,
the
then
opposite,
slowly
and hopefully
there will be a
hopefully
balance.
Yeah, they will-
it will end up in the middle, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
And the
Third
most,
question
yeah.
regarding the unemployment rate, how much AI is affecting the unemployment rates in the future? I don't know if you have any statistics so far, but definitely many jobs will be replaced by AI, especially how the company in the USA is creating AI tailored made employees. So I don't know how much in the future AI will replace jobs and how much it will affect the employment rate. I don't know if you have any information.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I can say one thing like, yes, some jobs will be replaced, as you know, mentioned earlier as well, all of us. But yeah, new type of jobs will be created, which is maybe monitoring the AI systems or, kind of customizing the AI solutions and things like that will come. So maybe employees will have to repurpose, just like, when computers came, we had to learn Excel sheets and Word. Same way we have to learn new things and we should be open to that. And I think we should be fine. There won't be much challenge in the short run. I don't know what will happen after the
For
contract.
me,
Yeah.
if I want to call my bank in Dubai, I hate to have to call an AI operator. I don't feel comfortable. Sometimes there are some jobs and some duties are still cannot be replaced by AI. I prefer to call, especially if you have something urgent, I need a human being to communicate with. Maybe it's AI, it helps you more and faster, but you feel more safe if you want to communicate with a human being in front of you. That's
Okay.
I'm talking about my experience.
Okay.
By the way, many people are like this.
But sometimes, but sometimes sometimes you are talking with a human being and you think it's a human being, but in reality it's already AI.
But the recorded, it's
Okay, and that's what is the problem, right? See, when you call anything on the phone on the other side, you cannot see, then it's a frustrating experience. But what we actually do, if I have to do a call, I'll do a con call in which there is a video, right? Now, if there is a video coming of somebody who is like looking like human, talking like human, having emotions, and giving some very reasonable answer, you experience ChatGPT, right? It gives reasonable answers. So then it would be unrecognizable and that frustration would not arise. The only problem is this phone when you call, even if there is a person over there.
And you don't reach and they don't have the full answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving you the option if you want to communicate with an AI operator or a human being. You're obliged to follow up with the operator. I don't want to talk to the operator. I have a case, I have to discuss it. No, if you want, press 1 and you have to communicate verbally in order to AI to catch you.
That's wrong AI, right?
So far.
So that's the future AI that I'm talking about. It would be something which is coming on a screen, a video screen, right? Exactly looking at like a person, having the emotions, talking in your language. So that's where things would change. So that's what would be a shift, and that is very easy to happen. The only thing is that we specified, because we are working in this particular area, is the cost. Because the cost right now is not justifiable, because a lot of people are going to call. Definitely the bill will be so high that the companies will go bankrupt. They cannot adopt this.
600 here. Yeah.
Yeah, and also you asked about another interesting aspect. See, from an economic model perspective, let's say if a lot of jobs are gone, 50% of the people in the world are jobless, then what it's going to create? It is going to create chaos. And the second thing is, if all those big providers who are providing commodity, they need to sell them, right? So somebody needs to buy them. If you do not have the money, how you will buy it? So the overall system is unsustainable. So jobs would be created. Even like repurposing is not going to happen. Governments are going to do something. And there was an interesting case that ultimately for the models you need data, right? So human beings would be the one who would be generating the data for the models to work, and you would be paid for that.
AI will create jobs.
Exactly.
So don't
Okay, I
worry
think it's
about
a-
it. People would
I
not
think this
be
was a
jobless
perfect
at a mass
final
level,
word
basically.
for today. So thank you very much for all of you for the discussion and for the great event.